Welcome to this video. It seems like clickbait to say, oh, there's world edit in Bedrock. That can't be the real thing. Nah, it's completely the real thing. If I would actually do it correctly, you'd be able to see it. And here we are. Yeah, it's world edit. In Bedrock, the real thing. We could do H-Sill, and we could do Stone 1010. Here we are. And let me fly out of the way. We also have a bunch of other commands. We could also do warp spawn. We could teleport back to spawn just like that, super easily. We could set different warps. We can have voxel sniper, world edit. You know what's crazy about this? It's not just world edit. But I'm going to explain that in a moment. Anyway, once I show you how to set up a world just like this. Now it is a server, it is a Bedrock server that you can have world edit on, which is absolutely amazing, which also means oh no, it's a server, that means I don't have to pay for it. No, it's completely free. At least the way I'm doing it, it's completely free. And it also means, since it is a server, this was trying to say a second ago, that means anyone can join pretty much at any time. All you gotta do is turn the server on and it is ready to go, and all of your friends can join it. So you can have 20 people online. It's like a realm, but better, plus world edit and a bunch of other plugins that you can install super easily. And I'm hoping like this will grow in popularity. This is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna set up one myself for my own building stuff, so I can build like anytime I'm doing videos in the future of me building, I'm probably going to do it on a server just like this one, so I can play anytime that I want with world edit on Bedrock super easily. You know, because I like making videos that you guys can follow along. So let's just jump right on in. Oops. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to get world edit set up on your Bedrock server. Now, this is actually sort of weird, but also it makes a lot of sense, because from the title and the thumbnail, it's saying, you know, world edit in Bedrock or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's true, but it's also not necessarily true. Let me show you why, and hopefully this makes sense. When I show you this, it means it's way more than just world edit on Bedrock. It is way more than that. This is very, very amazing. Now, I want to show you it. Now, go to whatever hosting website you want to. I'm using Aternos because it's free, but there's a bunch of ads, and I have an ad blocker, so you'll see in a minute it's going to get irritated at me for having that. But let me just show you what this is, how amazing this is, and that this opens up so much more than just world edit. Because of this button right here, this will help you realize this is so much more. Java Edition, right? That's the server we want. We do not want a Bedrock Edition server. So wait a second, Jay. We're making a Java Edition server, but I'm on Bedrock. How am I supposed to join a Java Edition server? And that is where the GeyserMc plugin comes into play. You can join Java Edition servers on Bedrock. It is crossplay. Why is that so cool? Because it opens up way more doors than just world edit from pretty much any plugin that is available for Java Edition servers that you've pretty much ever seen on any Java Edition YouTube video you've ever watched. All those faction server things that I used to watch whenever I was younger, from warp commands to the faction server commands, pretty much all of those are available now easily just on Bedrock using this plugin that allows you to have a Java Edition server on Bedrock, or you're able to join from Bedrock to a Java Edition server. So let's make sure you select Java Edition server, press create on whatever thing you're using, and just ignore my ad blocker. I would switch like to Windows Explorer or something, but I don't have control over the ads, so that's, yeah. Next, we're gonna have to go to software. Let me go back real quick, and now I gotta re-click the button. Make sure you go to software, as you can see here. You have to select that one specifically because we need to download the plugin software. So what that is exactly is, this is vanilla. And what we need is some way of adding in plugins to the server. So we're going to add in a spigot/bucket server. I'm fairly decently sure that it's possible to have a paper/bucket server, but then there's also Forge and Fabric that apparently are possible, but I've never tried it. If you want me to try some of these out, then definitely you'll have to comment down below which one of these you want me to try out next. But let's move on with spigot/bucket. Now, after you've done that, there's going to be a menu that pops up that says 1.8 that has all of these here. and we're going to specify that we want 1.18.1. We want a 1.18.1 server. Next, we're wanting to press install so that we can install the Spigot server. Once we have all of this done, what we're going to want to do is go to plugins, which is a new section over here that we just got, plugins, and we're going to want to, and now we're going to need to get the plugin. Now, I would personally prefer to download the other ones first because they're cool, like WorldEdit and all that, but this is the one that does all of the work, which is GeyserMc. And I need to show you a couple things to make sure you understand it, because depending on if you watch more videos about this in the future, you need to understand this is not one plugin, this is actually two. Now this is for 1.18.1 and 1.18. If you click on this and you download it, it'll be downloaded into your files folder here. Now if we go into our files folder and we go into plugins in our files folder here, we have plugins, we click that. Once we open this up, and you don't necessarily need to follow along with me, all I wanted to show you is that this is Floodgate and Geyser. This is floodgatespigot.jar and geyserspigot.jar. The reason why this is important is because Geyser and Floodgate are two separate plugins. They're two separate plugins. So if you ever watch any tutorials or any other videos, you might need to configure some settings in one of them. So you need to understand that they're both sort of together, Floodgate and Geyser. So you might need to change either one of them. So you downloaded two plugins by downloading that one. Now let's go back to the plugins and let's specify what other ones we want. So I'm going to download Warp as well, and then we'll be downloading WorldEdit and Voxel Sniper. Now let's, I'm just going to download this one and I'll show you the general process of doing that. So you click on the one that you want and you need to make sure it says 1.18.1 and then you click download and it's ready. Now luckily there's actually another one that's coming up soon that's also sort of important, and actually I forgot to download it since I had already just looked it up anyway. That is this Geyser Skin Pack Manager. So because we are on Bedrock, skins are managed differently, so what this will do is make sure that whenever you join on Bedrock, whenever you're on Bedrock and you join the Java server, it will manage your skins correctly. So this is actually sort of a decent example of whenever you're downloading a plugin, you might not necessarily know what version it's made for. It doesn't specify. All it says is 1.6. So if you need to check which one, like what version this is made for, you might need to go up here, which this is pretty much for all of them, and it'll go and take you to spigotmc.org, and it says 1.16 all the way up to 1.18. So this should work in theory. Let's try it out actually, since we're here. That would be my guess, since it's 1.18. We are on 1.18.1, so we'll give it a try. You just download the latest one, and then we're ready. Now to download WorldEdit, most people's first instinct would be to download WorldEdit. However, that is not necessarily a good idea. That is an older version of the mod. The one that we want to download is fast asynchronous WorldEdit. So we can just look up fast async and then nothing else, and we should get fast async Voxel Sniper and fast async WorldEdit. So that is these two here. So that's how you spell fast async, and then same way for both of them. They both have the same beginning. So if we go into here and we click on we can download the latest one, which says 1.18.1. So we know that this works. So we can download the other one, and we'll have to download this one again in a minute because I downloaded it too quickly. Don't do what I did. You need to make sure you wait. So you click download and you wait, and there's the check mark. You move on, you click download, you wait, and then we will get a check mark and we are ready. Now next, well actually that's pretty much it, but all you need to know about fast asynchronous WorldEdit is that it is faster. That's why it's called fast async. So it will be better for your server if it is this one. So next we will need to open up console and players. So let me click through these. And what these are for is players manages your op privileges and whitelist privileges. And then we also have the console, which is for doing commands in the console, such as opping a player. Now we will not be doing anything in here just yet, but we will in a moment. Now we're gonna need to open up servers, and this will be pretty much it. We are ready. Now after going through all of this, you probably have the sinking feeling that like, well, Jay, what about I've been working on a world for 3 years. I want to be able to build on my world with WorldEdit. I don't want to have to get rid of my world and start a new one. Well, you can still work on your old worlds, and I'll show you that just in a moment. So just wait, just stick with me, and I'll show you sort of the basics of how that works, and I'll have to do a video on it later because it is not complicated, but I still think I should do a video on it. Now, we are ready. So we have this here. We will click Start, and we need to accept the Mojang EULA. We click that. We're starting the server. And I'm just gonna disable notifications, and now we are ready. Now, as I said a minute ago, if you want to get your worlds onto the Java edition of Minecraft, you're gonna have to go to a website. So before I show you that, I do want to tell you that this is going to take a while, and I'm going to have to skip ahead even after I go through all of this other information, because this will take a while to load. So if it takes a long time for the server to load, then that's completely normal. This might take a while. So let's go on and go to Chunker. Chunker is a website that allows you to transfer worlds from Bedrock to Java. Now, I already have an account, but let me just log out real quick. Here we are. So, if you're on Bedrock, depending on what version you're on, this could change drastically. Because on Xbox, it works differently than PS4, which works differently than Nintendo Switch, which works differently than iOS, which works differently than Android, which works differently than Kindle Fire, which works differently than Windows 10. And there's some more versions of the game that I'm also missing and not thinking of, probably something like Oculus or something. I have no idea. This can change drastically depending on the version of the game that you are on. So, yeah, like I said, if you might need to look up a specific tutorial for each version of the game that you are on. The general idea is you somehow get a hold of your world as a file. Now on Windows 10, I can easily just export a world and I'll have access to it. So if I go to this world here, I can go to here and I can just press export and I can get a hold of the file. I can export it anywhere that I want. In fact, I have a whole list of them. I can just then drag and drop the export into here. You could also drag and drop the actual world folder into it as well. So yeah, so pretty much what it is a .mc world file. It is an archive. It means it's compressed. You can also just drop in the world as well. So you can do whichever one you want. Now, getting a hold of that file, it changes depending on the version. Just get a hold of it somehow. And the easiest way is to do it on your phone. Like whether or not it's iOS or Android, the easiest way typically is to do it on your phone. So keep that in mind if you're trying to do this, or on a laptop or something like that. Next, One way of doing that, actually, before I go to the next part, one way of doing that is actually buying a realm, uploading a world to the realm, and then downloading it onto your phone, and then uploading it to the website. So this is a website, and you can upload it onto the website. So that is what's so nice about it, is you can upload onto the website and be able to do it from here, which is great because it means that it won't take very long, because you won't have to do the calculations on your phone. Like your phone's not doing any work, which is actually sort of a nice thing. Now let me actually log out again. For some reason it automatically logged myself in. I don't want to be logged in. I guess we're gonna have to do this. Here, let's do this. Hopefully, yeah, there we are. Register. Now, one thing that's a little bit confusing about this is that it is an official Minecraft tool. And that means it's a little weird because it's for partner teams. But apparently you don't need to be a partner team. You can literally put anything you want. For example, Jonas Anderson, right? We can put anything that you want, and you can put individual as the team. Then you can put in your email and your password, and now you're ready, and it should work. Now I haven't tried it yet. Keep that in mind. I have not tried this yet. I heard that this doesn't need anything, and all you gotta do is register. However, I'm not 100% sure on that. Apparently, they don't actually check with the team to make sure you're a part of a partner team. Apparently, you're just allowed to use it as an individual. Now, I'm not entirely 100% sure about this. Keep that in mind. I'm not 100% entirely sure about this. I'm going to have to try it in a video later and show you me setting up an account, and then you can follow along and see how it works. Now, as I said, I'm not sure, so we'll have to try it out later, but this is the one. If it works, would be amazing. Now, I haven't figured it out yet. but we'll have to figure it out when we get there. Once you transfer that to Java, it should, in theory, work. Now, sometimes it does break because of update issues with Mojang. But it should work because this stays up to date decently well because it's an official tool for people who work. So yeah, it's very nice. Now, hopefully they actually come out with a tool that everyone can use a lot easier, because this is, like I said, an official tool. So there's some things that are a little bit frustrating about it. Now, actually, it already started up, which is really nice. Now, depending on what version of the game that you are on, this will change fairly drastically how you need to get this all set up. Now, on the website, what we're going to need to do is do connect. So you're going to take the IP and the port, and we're going to put that into the correct section. So the IP will go here, which is the server address, and the port will go here. Now, what I was trying to say before I interrupted myself is that depending on what version of the game that you were on, it might be difficult to get this additional servers thing to open up. So depending on what version you're on, you might need to look up a tutorial on how to do it. So just sort of keep that in mind. Also, your ping may vary. It depends on the server hosting website you're using and where you live. But yeah, now we are on the Java edition of the game on Bedrock, and we have the same running, we have the same movement. It's still Bedrock, but it's just connected to Java. And we could use stuff like world edit commands, which I actually need to type in correctly. And I'm actually lacking the permission in order to do that. So if you're wanting to do this, there's two things you might need to keep. If you want to have a whitelist, you'll need to set up the whitelist. So I don't really care if there's a whitelist because I'm not going to be using this. And if I have a problem, then I can just set the whitelist. Now, one thing I will show you, actually, I just forgot that I need to show you something. This right here, .MrJCraft. And then again, if we go here, it will say .MrJCraft, right? .MrJCraft. It puts a dot in front of your name. It puts a full stop in front of your name because Java and Bedrock players could technically have identical names. So if you want to whitelist a player on here, you need to do the star thing here, which is a Shift 8 if you're on a keyboard, anyway, it's a special character, and then the name of the player. And if you do that, then it will whitelist a Bedrock player. If you need to do it for Java, then you remove it. So Java has the plain names, and then Bedrock will have a star before their name, or whatever is specified by the server hoster, because it might change it. But most likely it is star. Just do star if you're not sure. Now, if you're wanting to op a player, then we need to do op.MrJCraft in the console. Now that we've done that, we have operator. Now we can type in //wand, and now we have world edit. And it's just as easy as that. We could also give ourselves creative mode real quick. So now we're in creative mode, and we can use world edit and do all the things that we want to do with world edit, and do set stone or whatever else we want to do. And here we are, it's working. And yeah, we just did world edit on Bedrock, and we can use pretty much any of the world edit commands, except for some that are not available, because there's a lot of different world edit commands. So just keep that in mind, that there's a lot of world edit commands, so it can change depending on which plugin you are using. Now let's actually go to Java and actually check out what this looks like real quick. One thing that's really cool, now as you can see here, we are on the Java edition of the game and the Bedrock edition at the exact same time, and we could probably find our player. But one thing that's really cool is if we look in the menu, this is actually grayed out because there is no creative crafting in right here. So because that's not available on Java, it won't actually let us do it on the server, which is sort of interesting. Let's see if we can find our player. So now we are playing on the Java edition and on the Bedrock edition at the exact same time. And unfortunately, the skins didn't seem to work, but that might be my fault for using one with the top hat. But yeah, this is absolutely amazing. World edits on the Bedrock edition of the game. This is how you do it. And you can do it pretty much on every single version of the game. There's so much more that we could do. We could do a set warp as well. Set warp, and we could do a set warp spawn. We could fly away wherever we want to go up, really high up in the air, like this. Yep, there we are, and we could warp back to spawn if we wanted to. Just that easy. We could also do a set home, but we don't have that actually installed just yet. There is set light and set skylight. There's just so many other commands that are available now. Just because we downloaded a few plugins, there's so many plugins that you can download. Stuff for factions as well, so you could set up a legitimate faction server, holograms as well, have those special hologram text things that you've seen all the time that people have been wanting to figure out how to do for forever. Well, now you can do that and get it set up very easily. And what's so cool is this is free, it's easy to set up. You could also buy a server and it would give you really good render distance for like $5 a month, the same price, not $5 a month, but like a few bucks a month, the same price as what realms cost, and it's just this easy. You can also set up multiple people to have access to the same server, so that if you're not online, you can still turn on, subscribe, and press the notification bell to see more future content about this kind of stuff. If you actually want to support the channel, there is also a join button, which is like the price of a cup of coffee, or in this case, a server. So you could either buy a server and set up your own world edit, or support the server, or support the channel. I'd probably recommend buying a server instead, because that's just awesome. But if you want to use it for something else, you could help support the channel as well. But anyway, hope you guys have a great, wonderful Sublime day, and God bless.